Welcome again to Common Hood. This is another Wacky Friday. We're giving you some soul food to marinate on for the lovely weekend coming up on that Saturday and Sunday. And today we're going to hit you with Desperation may equal to your destination. So, Desperation, real quick, Cal. Thinking about all these desperation situations that come up on us.
Yeah, right.
So, when we define a destination, it's like, what the hell gonna push you in that corner where you got to come up fighting?
Oh.
And when you do that, we got a choice to make. So everybody thinking like, what be desperation? Everybody always start with the same thing: money.
Money. Yeah.
What's the example of it? You been pushed in one?
Man, look. All women push when it comes to money, man. Shoot, man. I got so many different scenarios, man, where I've been pushing.
We don't need a lot of them.
I'm gonna give you one. Let me see if I can just give you one. So if you feel like, say for instance, I'm just gonna put a little opposite on the light bill.
A light
bill, right?
Utility bill, where you
lights go off, man. I mean, lights go off. You ain't got no hot water.
With $400 groceries you just bought for the
family and everything gone. It's gone and everything.
What you do?
And so what you do, man? Look, some people might go out there and do certain things to keep the lights on, different things of that nature. In my instance, I go out there and hustle. I ain't selling drugs or anything like that. I go out there and find me something to do to make the money that I need.
That's you.
Yeah.
But lack of money have a lot of people making a lot of different choices.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
So you saying that you go hustle. I ain't gonna ask you what you hustling.
Oh man, I hustle my hands.
What you do with your hands?
For jobs.
What type of job?
Listen, I'm a handyman, so I go
out
there. Yeah, no, I ain't going to hustle that type of thing. You know what I'm talking about? I know where you're going with that too, man. I ain't finna try to hustle like that. You know what I'm talking about? But some people do that.
Hustle.
Yeah, that's the hustle.
There's other hustles though that sometimes your desperation in whatever hustle it is outside of the right way can possibly lead to a destination where it's not productive.
You better believe it.
It's not.
You better believe it.
Was it worth it? So I guess we would say, hey, let's think about taking a gamble.
Right.
When you don't use your hands, your lights are off. You got your girlfriend or your daughter or your son with you.
Right.
And let's just say no jobs are coming your way.
But man, look, if you're from the streets, a lot of street people be thinking about getting that lick, man.
Okay, but is that a catalyst for destruction?
It is, most definitely. But when you say desperation, you got your son, you got your daughter, you got your kids in the house, you ain't got no lights, the jobs ain't coming, you ain't got no other source of income coming in. We got different areas that we can take.
But we would say lack of money.
Lack of money cause you to do a whole lot of different things.
Cause you to do a whole lot of things. Most areas that have that are in an underserved community.
Truth be told.
So what you thinking they do?
Well,
they're taking that alternative route.
Yes, they are.
Is it understandable?
You know what? A lot of societies might say it's not.
Society may not say it's
no,
not.
But if you come from where I come from, and you understand that it's not no other choice for them at that particular time. Is it understandable? Yeah, I believe it is. I believe it is. Is it right? No.
Okay, well, look at it from this point right here then. If I'm in that situation and I'm in a community that's showing me plenty possibilities, saying you don't have to accept that.
Right.
Now they say build a career, but my lights go out tomorrow. If they say go look for a different gig, but my lights go out tomorrow. But if somebody say I got a pack, if you can take it 150 miles away, I have your light bill and some.
You already know how it's gonna be, man.
I don't know how it'll be.
Hey,
I think if your lights out, what you gonna do though?
You gonna jump in the car and take that package where it need to go.
That's that example of that desperation.
Exactly.
Where it push you in that particular situation.
I follow you.
Where you need to do that. So life is a gamble. We rolling the dice on certain things when it comes to desperation.
Right.
Now, I'm gonna give you another example. Let's just say we think sex is just an easy thing, right? but I'm gonna put yourself in the shoe of a 16 and 17-year-old. No, a 17-year-old,
Mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm.
Now, 17-year-old father a child,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and child come in, he's happy.
Right, right.
And then at 18, what they hit you with? What's coming at 18?
You don't know. It's adulthood, man.
It's adulthood.
And
Now,
bills and different things of that nature.
When those bills come, and all you want to do is take care of your child,
Right.
right? So at this point, that desperation situation made you define your career right there.
Right then and there, and you need at that particular time. Now, see, I can vouch for that. You know, I have a younger daughter. You know, and I ain't gonna go into too much details. But my daughter, she felt like she had to take that desperation mark, which she didn't, but she did on her own. She left home at a young age, and she wanted to be on her own, be grown, and different things of that nature. So in her desperation mark, she said, "I got to make fast money."
Well, the desperation mark hit her because she left home.
And she left home because of that.
And then adulthood hit her. But is that really, that's a choice, right?
It's a choice. It's a choice. But still, in the sense of leaving home, she still got herself in a desperation type mode.
Yeah, but it's not as equal to the analogy of your career getting totally altered.
Right.
When you're 17 or you're 16 and you father a child,
Mm-hmm.
and as soon as you hit the gate in 2 years, you got a pile of debt.
True.
That pile of debt is somebody was taking care of your baby, which happened to be the system.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So let's just say if that was $400 a month. So
Right.
you starting out with $10,000 at the gate
Mm-hmm.
with a threat.
What's the threat?
The threat is I gotta go take care of my job. I gotta go take care of my child right now.
Right.
So you didn't have a chance to make that alternate route on what career choice. You're forced in it.
Gotcha.
So it could be a career game changer that's gonna take a while to get out of that muck, and a lot of us get stuck in it.
Right.
So I always say, some people say, I've been on this job for 23 years and I never liked it. What led you there?
Exactly.
And most of the time, it's just the responsibilities of life.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
in that case, that is a desperate situation that was career altering for that person.
Right.
So another example before we move forward, just think of it about relationships.
Gotcha. I got you.
Now, everybody ain't like you to be married 29 years, 30 years, whatever it is.
Well,
40 years, whatever it is.
Hey, listen, man.
But
go ahead. Let me see what you got.
You hear the story about relationships.
A lot of them. A lot of stories, you know.
So since I know you didn't talk about the business relationships,
right.
that you had to get the desperation came so bad in your business that you was making good money that y'all had to give that up and couldn't reach an agreement, and it got so bad desperation wise that you had to find an alternative way out of that.
Right. You talking about the car wash?
Car wash.
Yeah,
it's been it's been everything when you're out there trying it.
You better believe it. It got really bad, man. And when you say desperation, I definitely had to find an alternative way to get out of that situation with my partner. If you want to talk about business or you want to talk about the marriage, either one, he's still in that type of mode with an individual person.
Now, in that case, you had your support system.
Right. You got to have a support system.
Let's bring that up with the support system. We talk about all the different things that'll put you in a desperate situation.
Right. See, you know, if you don't have a support system behind you when you're in a desperate situation, that desperate situation can turn into something really, really bad, man.
I think that's what happens when you say, as we using another analogy before, when I say when the light's going out and you just bought $400 of groceries, and you got about 1 or 2 days for that to unthaw, and you got your kids, you got your family, and yet you saying, well, my job ain't doing enough to pay it. The flat tire happened, and you looking for a way, and you can't do your job right now. Somebody say, well, hey, Kev, I don't need no handyman work, bro. I appreciate it.
Exactly. You have to have some type of support behind you.
Okay.
Somebody you can call and say, hey, look, I'm in this position. Can you help me out at this particular time?
Okay.
You know,
okay.
and if you don't have those avenues, guess what? You already know.
That's that desperation that I'm talking about.
Yep.
So as we going through life, are you saying it is real good? Not saying, but it is good to have a support group.
It's detrimental to have a support group in your life. You got to have it. It's detrimental. You got to have it. You got to have it.
Can't avoid it.
Can't avoid it. You have to have a support group.
If you don't, it make that situation much harder to get out of it.
Much harder. Much harder.
What do you say for those that say, hey, what about just taking the time that before you make that choice? How much analyzing and reflection you do
before you make the desperate choice? Yeah,
because
a lot of times
the situation don't make me. I never thought about it when I needed something right then.
Yeah,
I just kind of reacted.
Right.
Now I've been lucky.
right.
I've been lucky. I've been real lucky.
Right.
A blesser, however you want to say it. That
Yeah.
this and that didn't take place based off my decision making at that time. When I look back on it,
well, I made some desperate choices, man, and they didn't turn out good. You know,
for some it don't turn out good,
Yeah.
and for some it turn out good to satisfy, but it still make you say, "Well, darn."
Yeah, maybe I could do something different.
If I could do it again,
I wouldn't do it this way.
Yeah, it make you keep saying going back. So assessing your situation and trying to look at the options and potential. None of that be there when you're in that situation, when you're pushed up in that corner.
Because you don't think about them. Your mind is only on that situation. You don't have time to really like think about the situation you're going through, because right then and there you need to fix. You need to fix that problem. I've learned over life, getting older, that if I have a problem, I meditate on it first. And when I meditate on it, if I can't come up with a solution, I'll make a phone call. To that support group. That goes back to the support group.
Now that's coming with maturity.
Yeah.
But we're going back to how important that support group is to have in that situation.
Right.
That when it gets desperate, I think one of the first things to do, as you mentioned, let's go find that support group first. Somebody you lean on, whether it be wife, mom, dad, best friend, however it is, they're trying to help navigate the situation. But we talk about the negative so much. Now, I say that desperation sometimes is equal to destination. Now, when I think about the desperation, what it can equal up to and stack up to, look at what it could be a catalyst for as well.
Oh, man.
When it comes to the positivity.
The positivity part is, once you go through a desperate situation, it could turn out to be a positive situation as well, because of the growing experience.
The growth
from it. And like I said, everything that I've been through in life, as far as like desperation or different things, different choices I made, it grew me to be who I am today. It helped me. It definitely helped me.
I know one of the things that make you do, when we were reflecting on lack of money, it make you think outside of the box.
All the time.
And that's what I was trying to get
all the time.
But that's what the desperation do sometimes. It'll cloud that. It'll really cloud you to use your brain power to think outside the box.
Right.
Hey, I'm guilty of it.
Right.
Money come up funny, bad choices or whatever. Sometimes I get in that funk and not really thinking about what's outside of this box that I'm currently in.
Right.
To help get me out of that situation to move forward, to make this turn into a destination that's going to be beautiful.
Exactly.
A nice end game, so to say.
Right.
These days, with technology, do you think it's still feasible when they say, work harder, push harder, go? It's so many life coaches.
Man, look.
Reach your potential. It's your personal development.
That's the manifestation thing, as far as like where the life coaches go. They try to put that manifestation of pure power in your spirit to get you motivated, to show for you to be able to do it. It's the same thing with motivational speakers and pastors. Pastors preach that word to get your spirit, man, all riled up the way you can do it. You can do anything through Christ Jesus who strengthens you. And then the motivational speaker comes in and say, yo, you got the power within inside you to finish and complete this.
But they telling the truth.
They're telling you the truth. But you have to believe it. You have to believe it. And for many of people that go through a desperation situation, some of them have that thing inside of them where they don't believe they can be better or they can do better. You know?
When you think of the desperation, you said it's the situation.
Yeah, it's the situation.
So at that situation, when you think about that situation right then, if it's immediate result, I think more people get in trouble at that time if it's immediate.
And most of the time, when you think about it, every desperate situation is revolve around what?
Every desperate situation revolves around that pressure.
That pressure and
that pressure.
Money. Bills cause pressure. Life cause pressure. When you can't buy no food, you can't pay your bills on time.
I think it's pressure when somebody tell you you got a bad health report.
Well, that's pressure. That's pressure.
I think
you know,
it comes in different ways.
Yeah.
It's like a money to see it always to be the center of attention.
Right.
But I'm gonna go back and just focus on the thing that we introduced at the beginning. Your lack of money, your relationship choices, and this your career choice. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we get stuck in that and we become desperate.
Right.
So you got plenty of people working hard. I had a client text me this morning.
Right.
And she said, I work and all that seem like I do is work and I'm still $200 on the rent and I'm about to lose my house.
Wow. See, that's not.
But that's desperation. Now this young lady have 3 children and work full time.
Wow.
And one of the reasons why is she's back is just because she got sick and had to miss a little bit of time.
Right.
He got her response, but using all this positivity of think outside the box. Mm. I believe you can do it.
Right.
But yes, I got this going on right now. What am I going to do right now?
Now, that's where the support group comes in. Right then and there. When you're going through that, you need a support group. And not just somebody who's going to tell you, oh, you can do it, or you can make it, can do, that person that's going to come to you and say, hey, listen, what we have to do to meet side by side with this bill or whatever you got going on right here to get you over the hump, to get you where you need to be, and then we'll work the other stuff out in the back together. That's what a real support group is. And I've met a lot of people in my life that's helped me get over some humps, and I still try my best to be able to be a positive influence in people's lives, as we go.
Well, in our conversation, just to wrap this up, I told the young lady, I said, look, we're going to try to use this desperation spot to see how can we get a nice end result.
Right.
So what is the destination? And the destination is I need $200 to get.
Right.
Okay, so I got a choice to give her $200 or see what the support group has, and we all collectively do it together. And I say, but giving it to you, I feel like we can be mismanaging this opportunity of using this desperation situation as a learning curve.
Right.
So the learning curve, like this is a short-term game that I think we can fix this right here.
Exactly.
You say you got this cousin, he got 25, that one. I say we went from 200 to 175.
Right.
Now you at 150. So it's easy to ask for the 100 now. It's still $100, but it's gonna fix this.
Right.
So the problem we had narrowed up and focused on was like, hey, I think technology, I think this life, it always making you have to sharp up your insights or the skills that you're learning. Skills that you need to acquire.
Right.
And that made sense to her because she's like, I work at a place, hotel, hospitality industry. I like what I do.
I got that.
It finally hit that I like what I do. I haven't turned it into my own.
Gotcha. I get it now.
So all of a sudden, that desperation spot, it hit a light bulb for her. Now, the problem is, Mr. Harris, I have another 30 days coming and I'm gonna be short again.
Right.
That I can't even catch the bus to where I need to go at
Wow.
cost of the funds.
Gotcha.
So it's like, that's real desperation for a single mom to say that and share that.
Right.
And try to find a light. The only thing positive came was, at the end of the day, we was able to get the $200 up, make her open up about where is it going.
Right, right.
And it's jammed up. It's like it's a single mom and it's a catch-22.
Right.
And this is what I say, desperation. If I don't do the work, I'm stagnated and I'm totally dependent on whatever welfare would give me.
Exactly.
And I'm in the worst areas and I'm just trying to get better. I can't stop. So I was glad to hear her say that. So after we get her identification of her skills that she can work on, and for her, that's just, okay, I work in hospitality. I love what I do at this hotel.
Right, right.
So now it's like, okay, tell me what can we do outside of that box?
Right.
And for her, that box is, I need to try an entrepreneurial way. Now with the entrepreneur, it's like with the limited resource, I'm like, hey, let's take it to the next. Who let you borrow the 75? Well, the person that let her borrow the 75 and just gave it happened to be a physician, she mentioned.
That's good, man. That's really good.
Yeah, so we're turning her desperation situation
To a positive situation.
To a positive situation, to have a final destination.
Right, right.
Of positivity, and not get caught in that rut. But I can understand her cringing, like, he don't give me $200 the next time.
Right.
So tomorrow, being that she has her stuff, he's going to accept the call and allow her to possibly come and be a part-time housekeeper for his house, his wife, as well as the kids.
See, now, that turned out to be a positive situation.
All she got to do is take the kids to their activities on top of hers. So she went from, it's like she going from, you possibly may be going to having access to a car if you be honest about the situation.
Got you.
So that's what she get to lay her head on the pillow tomorrow, that those talks help. So her support group, I know you say have one, she has one, but everybody in the same boat.
Got you.
So it's going back to the same boat when I said, when you push back in that corner, what the hell happened when everybody in your support group in the same boat?
The same situation.
Who can you run to when that is your support group? Sometimes you can be classified by income levels.
You know, when you say being classified by income levels, yeah, you can be classified by income
You grouped
levels.
into it.
You're grouped into it, but you don't have to be in it.
No.
You know, you don't have to be in it. You can definitely branch your way out and get around the type of person you want to become. You know, people that's made it, so-called made it, that's doing something better for themselves. If you're around the same type of people, I feel like you're not going to be able to expand. Or you're not going to be able to grow the way you need to grow. You know, with me, I had to learn that. I don't want to be around, not saying I'm trying to say something bad about them, but I want to get around this type of people because this is what I'm trying to get to. You know, if I can't get to this point, how am I going to come back and help you? You know, I can't help you down here with me, with you, I can't help you. But if I can get to this point, I'm able to come back and say, hey, look, you're able to call me now for a real support group. You're able to get a hold of me and say, hey, look, Cal, you up there? Yeah, I'm up here, man. What you got? Well, man, I need a little helping hand. I need a little job. I need this going on. I need something I got going on right here. I'm able to do something.
Well, you know, once you kind of create your vision, it's like connecting to those that have the same vision.
Right.
And in her case, you know, as she's saying, everybody's working, and the rat race is a desperation.
Right.
You know,
always.
It's always. So we can tie out the money. We can tie out the relationships. I ain't saying money is all, but desperation sometimes mold the diamond.
You better believe it.
It molds a diamond.
Molds a diamond. You better believe it.
It molds a diamond. So, and I'm saying hey, I'm waiting for my diamond opportunity. It hadn't got there yet.
Yeah, you've been impressed
but
already.
But I know it's coming because you gotta just keep trying. You change your circle when we talked about relationships. Sometimes you have to change your circle, as you were saying.
Right.
Sometimes you have to, like, you're going down career choice. It's hard to make them changes.
It's true.
It's hard to push that brake on something you've been doing 10 or 15 years and think you can just turn all the way around and make a change.
Right.
That to me seems very daunting task for some.
Like I said before, if you I've always been good with my hands, right? I've always been good with my mindset as far as my hands, to look at something and be able to put something together and different things. So I learned what my talent was. I learned what my talent was. Once you learn what your talent is, you turn that talent into your vision. Okay, if your talent is hospitality, your talent, you like to serve people, you like to make people happy with what you're doing. Like she's in hospitality. Say she's in hospitality, and you said, what is it, the doctor or physician?
No, the physician they gave us 75
and giving up position to
giving them permission, say, hey, I need help around the house.
Around the house or whatever.
That's your first client.
Now, for her to like to do what she does, it has different areas that she can get a part-time gig. They got this gig network. You go on gig, you put on what your talents are, what you're capable of doing.
That's the new gig economy they're talking about.
Mm-hmm. And you get on there, and it's an app, and they have gigs on there. You put what you want, what you're doing. People looking for help and different things. I need a cleaning person. I'm able to pay $60 for this cleaning job. You go do that job for $60. Guess what? You get that $60 that same day. You don't have to wait on it. You get it the same day and drop it down into your little paid thing. Get it on PayPal, you get it on Cash App or whatever. You get that money the same day. What I mean by so many different avenues that she can do outside the scope of her box that she was in to be able to support herself.
Well, thinking outside of the box, man, that's one of the things that sometimes it becomes dim to look out when that desperation hits.
You better believe it. You better believe it. Some people don't have the.
You make it sound easy.
I've been there. That's what I'm trying, and I still
make it sound easy, so I can understand sharing with the individual or just anyone. Like I've been in those situations.
Yeah, let me show you how to do something.
I ain't always made it, but I know once I made up my mind, and I'm gonna kind of end it like this. Once you make up your mind to channel your energy a different way, to me that's the over the hump thing for me.
Yeah,
because I come from I love my support group, but let's just be real. Everybody in your support group who you lean on for support may not be attached to a dollar.
You better believe it, but they might be attached to something else. A way for you to get that dollar. They might not have the dollar there, but they can show you an avenue to get that dollar.
My thing of it is that the ones that seen, and for my support group, I'm grateful for them.
Right.
I come from friends and family because I don't worry about a dollar and what they can give me. Sometimes it's just a direction of helping me see that new energy.
I have a couple of people around me like that help me succeed in that area by motivating me. Motivation is the key sometimes, man. Sometimes you don't think you can make it. You don't think you want to go on, but they motivate you. And I try my best to send out my motivational type things every morning, because I go through things. What I send out is what I go through in my mind. So people, they might read it and they be like, well, what is he talking? It's stuff that I go through in my mind. It's stuff that I've been through.
I'll be wondering.
And it's stuff that I go through in my mind. It's very personal, but it's something I go through in my mind and I think about. And I say, okay, let me share this because it's part of my life. And if I'm sharing this with the individual people, saying that, hey, I went through this, and if I can come up out of it, you definitely can.
Like I say, changing your desperation to something to be very positive,
right?
And focusing on that, like I say, it does take some withal within, because like I say, that those
I like that, the withal within.
It takes some withal within. So using that desperation as a catalyst to get to that positivity of destination where you want to be. And one of the things that, like in this current society, everybody thinks
it ain't instant, buddy.
they think it's instant.
Yeah, it ain't instant.
And that's what's another thing that's humbling about a desperate situation. It really humbles you.
Yeah, tell me about it.
And when it humbles you, if you don't get caught in the sauce with it, the reflection and the looking at the personal development that you're growing from this here, if you can see past the box to say, okay, I'm in it right now.
Yeah.
But I still see my final destination.
Right.
So let me reflect on how I got myself in this position and where I need to go. And sometimes when you can just answer those questions yourself, it helps change it. You may need to change up a little bit.
Yep.
Your circle a little bit.
Or just the solutions of what you've been through. You know, like the solutions. Like say for instance, if you're in a desperate situation, I always go back on finance because sometimes I find myself in those situations.
You like money, Kevin?
Yeah. Well, it's not. Well, when I say finances is because I used to find myself in desperate situations as far as like not mismanaging, but making choices to say for instance, if I have a guy working for me and I tell this guy, I don't pay every day. I pay every 2 weeks, or I pay every week, or net 10s or net 30s. But this particular guy says, hey man, I'm not gonna do this job unless I get paid today, but you know you gotta have this job done at a certain time, and then you don't have anybody else on the back end to say, hey, come and finish this job out. And you already caught up on another job, so you gotta make sure you got $1,000 in your account now. Watch this.
So you just got put in a desperate situation.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to tell you the desperate situation. So you got $1,000 over here in this account. He said, if I take that right there, it got to be put there for a reason. I can't really take from it, but you take from it because you know you need to get this job done. So you get this man this $1,000. Now you're in a desperate situation because now you don't have that $1,000 there for what it was for. You see what I'm saying? So right. you had to, those situations like that. Now I found myself in those positions last year, paying people every day and doing different things like that. And the reason why I go back on money because money, if your money is not allocated to the proper way, you find yourself in a desperate situation every time. You got to borrow, you borrow and then certain things come up and you have to do certain things. It's just a big mess. So when you say get things in order, you said something like that, like get things in order to where you won't be called yourself to be in a desperate situation. That's what happens to certain people. If things are not put in order, changing things, reflecting on what you did wrong, like you said, reflecting on what you did wrong. And once you reflect on yourself, you say, okay, I can't get myself in that position again. Now I know why I messed up at right here. So I can't allow myself to get back in that position again.
Self-reflection is everything.
Self-reflection is everything. I know I was talking kind of fast, so try to get
It's okay, but self-reflection, I felt the energy.
Yeah, self-reflection is everything, man.
Because that's your line of business. Yep. I've heard you kind of discuss it. That happens a lot in that particular area of field that you work in.
Yeah.
So keep in mind, make that promise. You gotta deliver.
You gotta deliver. Sometimes I'll be slow, but you deliver. Once you deliver, they know you was on point. Right.
Well, man, we're gonna end it, man. We're gonna get ready to check out of here.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna be too long-winded. That desperation to equal that destination, man. It's just you gotta reflect on it. That there's gonna be different situations. We only hit 2 or 3, which is, your lack of money, your career choices, or relationships. At the end, there's a lot of out there.
A lot of what you say, a lot of
you
better believe it.
It can put you in a situation of desperation. But at the same time, I believe sometimes the greatest creativity, the greatest insights come from those moments. Though.
It does. I believe that 100%.
That's my summation of it all. You can talk about how negative it is, but on the positive side of it, to get to that destination, if you use some of the bullets that was talked about,
right.
Thinking outside the box, trying to preserve, self-reflection, learning new skills, picking new insights you can do, finding a way to channel that new energy on that destination.
Right.
Instead of getting stuck in that mud, you can always be okay.
You better believe it.
You can always be okay.
You can always be okay.
So, my final destination is health and strength.
That's all I want, health and strength. If you got health and strength, you can keep on rolling.
With a little bit of money.
All the money. Nothing.
With a little bit of money.
With a little bit of money.
Nah, but Hey, I appreciate you coming through again, Calvin.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Once again, this is Common Hood. This is Simon P. Thank you so much for joining us. Until we meet again, we're out.